Welcome back, everybody. Good morning on the radio. Good morning on the video. Welcome to the show. I'm back. That's it. After taking a few days off here, well, actually, we had the Thanksgiving long weekend. I'm back live in the studio once again. And what a great show we're going to have. Lots happened this weekend. I have a lot to talk about today. And we had a beautiful, beautiful weekend for Thanksgiving. I hope everybody ate some turkey and hung out and had a good time with their family, if that's where they went or wherever they went. Enjoyed the long weekend. I mean, we can't complain about the weather. It was pretty nice for the weekend. And yesterday was really, really a beautiful day. Weather 55 degrees at 5:30 this morning. Can't complain about that. Getting up to 70 today. It says it's about 63 out there right now. Barometer is remaining at 2945, which is measured in HG or inches of mercury. And 2945 is high pressure in this area, basically. So that's going to mean nice weather. Excuse me. The temperature's going to hold high in the 50s. Low 60s for the next few weeks. Some peaks into the 70s. How about that for October? You can't beat that. Hey, not a lot of rain is in the forecast. Sunday and Monday coming up this weekend. We might see a little bit of rain. Nothing major, but a beautiful fall so far. This going into October, we're halfway through, and yeah. I just love it. And don't forget, anybody out there, if you are looking to market your business or you want to advertise on this show, excuse me, I do have room for one more advertiser. That's right. I have an open spot. If you would like more information, get a hold of me, Paul Lemire, Cogeco.ca, or give me a call, 905-353-7560, or message me on Facebook. Appreciate it. If you want to advertise your business, I'll sit here and talk about it 4 days a week on Your City, Your Voice. That's the name of the show. And get some people to listen and come on down and see what you have to offer. Maybe it's a pretty good deal, really, for the time that I put into your show. You get 3 mentions a day, like all of my sponsors: Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company. Mention them at the beginning of the show, the end of the show. And of course, do about a 30-second to a minute spot during the show. So there you go. Pretty good for the money that you're going to spend to market your business. It's an investment. It's not an expense. So fall leads to winter. It could turn on a dime. We know that. Like, we're looking out there now. We're going, man, oh man, I can't believe this weather. But we know that just like this, it could turn. And what does that mean? That means that you're going to have to get your car in and checked out for winter. But why wait? Why wait till the rotten weather comes? That's when everybody rushes. You want to be proactive and do it right now. Take your car, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. It can put your car on all this diagnostic equipment. It will tell you exactly what's wrong. Plus, you'll check the safety features on your car, your brakes, and everything that goes along with that, suspension, that kind of thing. And also, you want to make sure your defroster's working. You want to make sure that your heater's working. Everything on your car is working the way it should, because there's nothing worse than breaking down in the winter. That's the worst thing. And what's even worse is when you go out in the morning and you got to wait 20 minutes for your car to heat up so your windows defrost. That's even worse. You want to make sure everything's working before you get to that point, and you don't have any aggravation. Winter is enough aggravation for most people. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. If you do get in a wreck, don't worry about it. Ken's got a full body shop. He takes your car in, he'll send it back to you in showroom condition. That's the way they operate. Support our sponsors. They support the show. WildBillsAuto.ca is where you go to see all the different things that Ken offers to his clients. Now, while you're doing that, flip over to Your City, Your Voice, Paul Lemire on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We know about 30 or 30%, 35% basically subscribe to the channel, even though more people watch it. So subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification button. We're at over 180 now. We need 20 more. We got to get to 200, and then we're going to head for 300. But let's get to 200 first, small steps when you do podcasts. Let's get that up there. Subscribe, give a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. All that helps to get the show out to more people. It'll start popping up in more places, and we'll get people involved in this city. It's your city, your voice, your money, your tax dollars. We need to have some responsibility and some accountability. And that's what we do on the show, and help you to understand why you should be doing it. Anyway, we're in the studios of 4680Q here across from the Meteor Crater on Chrysler Avenue. And like I said, the city, your voice. That's the name of the show. So let's get into the show here. The first thing I want to talk about for a second is the Property Taxpayers Alliance. And as we move to the budget at the end of November, it's coming up at a city council meeting. We're going to be taking a look at the capital budget, and a couple months later, we're going to look at the operations budget. These groups like the Property Taxpayers Alliance, that's what they talk about. You should join them on Facebook. Join their group on Facebook. Just look it up, Property Taxpayers Alliance, and they let you know what's going on with your taxes. And their property taxes is what we're talking about here. Their mission is the same as mine, to advocate for the efficient and effective use of your hard-earned tax dollars. And I usually don't talk a lot about different Facebook pages now, but this is one that I follow closely, and I know the guys there, and they're doing the same as me here. They're trying to have accountability. They're trying to do Doge. They're almost like a Department of Government Efficiency. Use our money wisely. It's an important part of keeping politicians that control your money responsible for the use of those funds, and it's for the betterment of the community on the whole, not individuals or certain groups. I was thinking about this on the weekend, and our councils are afraid of the firemen, for example, the police at times, even their staff. The only ones they aren't afraid of is the citizens, and I wonder why. We're the ones that they should be afraid of, because we're the ones that can give them their walking papers. They're not afraid of us. They don't fear us. We're their bosses. And you know why they don't fear us? Because they know that only 27% show up at the polls of the voters. What are they afraid of? 27% of the people who are eligible to vote turn out at the polls. So who do they work for? They work for the 27%. And that's why you see these wacky things that go on in council. So that's why joining the Property Taxpayers Alliance group on Facebook is important, to keep you informed, keep you up to date, keep you aware. And of course, as we grow together, and it's not my page. I have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with that page other than being a member of it, because I like to follow. And, sometimes we talk about taxes and what's going on, and responsibility and Doge and efficiency. But that's how you keep aware and informed. We have an election coming up in a year. Like I said, next year's budget coming up. And in the next 4 months, we have the capital budget and the operations budget. So you want to follow along. You want to keep informed. You want to know where your money's going. And if you don't like where it's going, have a voice. You can contact these counselors and say, hey, what are you doing? It's your city. It's your voice. It's your vote. It's your money. Most importantly, it's your money they're spending. They're the custodians of your money. And the only way to hold them accountable is to have a voice. And shows like this have a voice. Property Taxpayers Alliance have a voice. There's a lot of different, Facebook pages that have a voice. Let their concern. Niagara Hot Topics, another one that has a voice. You should join these and follow them. They'll let you know what's going on. And follow the show. Subscribe to the show. Share the show with your friends. Have them join in. I mean, the more that join in, the better. You've seen effective change when people band together in a cause. And that's the only way we're going to get change. I mean, these little surveys they do are all loaded. they're all loaded, these surveys, and it really makes you laugh because they say, would you rather have this or that? And really, here's the question they should really be asking if they were serious. Not these goofy questions. Would you rather have this bad thing or that bad thing? Hey, here's $100 bill. Would you rather have $100 bill or a $25,000 concrete ping pong table? If you want the $25,000 ping pong table, give me the $100 bill back. And that's really what it boils down to, right? I mean, they make these abstract things like a walking trail and an exchange and all this other stuff. But when it comes down to it, what they're really talking about is your cold hard cash. If the guy gave you $100 bill and say, would you rather have that $100 bill and put it in your pocket, or would you rather have a $40,000 pollinating meadow? What do you think 99% of the people would do? But when you say, would you rather have a concrete ping pong table worth 25,000 or a $40,000 pollinating meadow? Well, what are you going to choose? I don't need. I wouldn't choose either. But people do choose because they have to answer the question to proceed in the poll. So these surveys and that are set up. They're rigged. They're rigged so that they get the answers they want. Then they come to city council and say, "Hey, 99% of the people who responded wanted a walking trail." Yeah, well, put $100 bill on in their hand, say that's yours, or would you rather give it back to me and have this walking trail? And you see how many people give that $100 bill back. I guarantee you, the percentage would be very low. I'd walk away with 100 so fast they wouldn't even know what happened to me. They thought I was a ghost. So yeah, these are the groups that you want to join on Facebook, be a part of, have your voice heard in a real way. Keep informed, keep aware. Property Taxpayers Alliance will help you bring in being in the know. And also, there's a lot of other groups. There's Niagara News, Niagara Conservatives. There's, oh my goodness, Niagara Hot Topics, a good one. Yeah, jump in there. Get involved. Get involved. You don't have to get involved by walking down Queen Street with a sign. You just get involved by paying attention. And then your biggest voice comes at election time when you walk in the booth and you put your X beside a name. That's your biggest voice. Okay, everybody out there, are you in an organization, a member of an organization or a group, club, schools, businesses? You want to show your Christmas spirit? Well, you're invited to showcase your holiday spirit by entering a float, a walking group, or a performing act in the annual Christmas parade. That's right. Niagara Falls annual Christmas parade is coming up on November 15th, starting at 4 o'clock, and it runs the usual route down Victoria Avenue, starting at the Armory on Victoria Avenue, which we're trying to save, then marching down Queen Street, Victoria Avenue to Queen Street, and ending up at Centennial Hall in front of City Hall. So if you have some kind of an act, a marching group, a marching band, anything you'd like to showcase, just give a city call, put an application in to be part of the parade. After the parade, people can gather at the square in front of City Hall, Centennial Square, for a tree lighting ceremony and enjoy a meet and greet with Mr. and Mrs. Claus. That's right, Santa and Mrs. Claus. Does anybody know Mrs. Claus's first name? Maybe it's Sandy. Sandy Claus. I don't know. I never did find that out, but there you go. You can meet both of them, shake their hand, take a picture with them. To enter, all you have to do is fill out a parade entry form found in the niagarafalls.ca website. And if you'd like to volunteer for the event, help out during the day, you can fill out a volunteer application form there as well. So there you go. You want to get involved? You got a group that wants to perform and march in the parade? There you go. They need volunteers. Who knows? They may need open cars, convertibles to drive down the street to hold the dignitaries, the biggest shot in Niagara Falls. Hey, talk to somebody, talk to a counselor, go on, put your name in, and away you go. I got to wonder. Last year, there's a pretty sad looking moose at Centennial Square. An old moose with like lit up moose with no tail. I wonder if they're going to bring that old moose back. You got to go to the parade to find out, see what they're going to put down there. That's always a fun time. Kids have a good time watching all the different people down there and Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So get down there, enjoy it. It's done for you, citizens of Niagara Falls. So turn out and watch it. Bring yourself a nice little thermos of hot toddies to get you through, and away you go. That's on November 15th. Okay. Now I got an interesting picture from Gary Wilkins, my good buddy Gary, president of Doge, and it was of a tract of dead grass. And guess where it was? Which makes it interesting, by the way. It was behind those new houses they built right behind the Gale Center. Now, if you remember, Gary and Mike Cushman had a video showing tar pitch seeping out of the hole that they dug to build these things. And the ministry said they're okay to build on. Now, this area of dead grass and that is taped off. It's got yellow tape around it. I don't know what the tape said, but whatever. Maybe it just said just to keep out the people, because it looks like they put some soil and maybe planted more grass on it because the grass all died. But now Gary and Mike, before they built these things and while they were building them, they warned everybody that this might not be a great place to live. And if you remember when we talked about it before, the Gale Center is under different orders as far as cleanup, environmental cleanup, than housing would be. So you've got this, which is going to be an arena covered in concrete, a parking lot covered in pavement, as opposed to places where people are going to live, and gases and stuff can seep into their basements and percolate to the top of the ground around their homes. And this could be what's happening. We don't know. Unless somebody tests it, you won't know what's going on. But they brought politicians and city staff out there to take a look at this and tried to make a point. They've got the videos, they got all the evidence they need. They tried to make a point that this is going to be a problem area. Nobody listened to them. And as a matter of fact, some of the staff and politicians actually being uninterested and a little bit demeaning in their attitude towards them regarding, their investigations and opinions. And even though they had all kinds of proof, documentation, written proof, pages of opinions from experts, and video showing this tar pitch seeping out of the sides of this hole. I mean, it really doesn't get more explicit than that. But it's interesting that the very same spot they talked about and said was bad is the place that's taped off with the grass dead. Now, I don't know why we can't take anything from that other than the grass is dead. The question is why, and the question is, will anybody look further into why that grass is dead? So unless some tests are done, we're never going to know. And nobody seems to be worrying about why that grass died. They just put soil over it and planted, I guess, seeded it again. It looked like to me. Now, I'm not sure about that. Maybe they are going to do some tests. I don't know. But it's certainly concerning. And what's even more concerning is that right across the street, they're building another 100 units in the old ball hockey rink. And that's been given the green light to build on. And we got to wonder whether that property has a problem or not, because that's part of the old cyanamid area. And it just doesn't have to be them burying stuff there or dumping stuff there. I mean, this stuff does creep and seep into water systems and in the ground. So interesting that Gary, thank you for sending me that, Gary. I really appreciate it. And I had to mention it. I hope it's all right with you that I did mention it, but it's a cause for concern. And Gary and Mike do such a good job all around town figuring out exactly what's going on with these places and warning people. But, you can only warn them. You can't force them to do anything. They have these experts they call experts in the ministry and everybody else. And a lot of times the surveys that are done by people that are on their payroll. So Does that really count? It's a poor way to do it. Anyway, let's go over to the city of Thorold. See, there's lots happening on this weekend. There's lots of news, lots of stuff going on. And that's not even including any Thanksgiving activities around here, like Balls Falls had a big thing. Thousands of people were down there. The city of Thorold, they seem to have a council with a little more savvy than Niagara Falls. And the reason I say that, if you've ever been to their downtown, you'll see their downtown is in pretty darn good shape compared to ours. And you got to say that these guys are doing something right. It's vibrant down there. There's lots going on. Now, they are considering, their council, a third-party review for establishing a ward system for their elections. Now, how interesting is that? Because here in Niagara Falls, this has been brought up several times by Councillor Lococo. And the last time she brought it up, it was shot down by Councillor Strange. And it looked like a pre-scripted speech he gave regarding the province and amalgamation. And that, of course, never happened. It's been happening for 8 to 10 years now. And it hasn't happened yet, but who knows? People say it's going to happen in the next few years. But the idea of a ward system for voting in Niagara Falls is long overdue, and it makes sense since the city's expanded so to the point where councillors really have a hard time campaigning. Now, incumbents have a huge advantage. So I can understand why most of the councillors are against it. Most of them are incumbents. Well, actually, all of them except for Patel, Newestag, and Baldinelli are incumbents. So 5 out of the 8. So yeah, anybody who's sitting on city council right now has a huge advantage because people know who they are. They watch the meetings. They know their names. And these guys love photo ops. I mean, this is the big thing. If photo ops made a good council, we'd have the best council maybe in the world. But they don't. It's actions. But it's very hard for new councillors or people, candidates, or to get into council because running a campaign throughout the whole city that's expanded so much in the last 20 years, 10 years especially, it's hard to campaign. It's cost a lot of money, takes a lot of time, which, it's if you're working in that, trying to run a campaign, there's just not enough time to be able to do it. So ward systems compact down into a small area, which gives everybody a better chance. So that's what they're talking about. Much easier to handle when you're glad handing and kissing babies and all the other stuff that politicians do, and getting a shot at city council, a true shot, without having to mortgage your house to do it. Councillor Jim Handley in Thorold, who put the motion forward, calls for a report to examine the possibility of a ward system in Thorold to balance out the city since the canal separates parts of it. And you know what? That makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense because every part of the city gets representation. I mean, all 8 of your councillors could be from Rolla Woods or from Mount Carmel or from one area. They aren't, but they could be. With wards, you can't because you're going to be running in your own area where you're well known to get elected. So it evens everything out. You get one from Chippewa, one from the north end, south end, east end, west end. It all evens out. Glenview, downtown, it all evens out. But if they don't want to even go for it yet, I mean, at least on the next election next year, enter it as a binding referendum. In other words, have a vote for citizens of Niagara Falls when they vote for their councillors and mayors and everything. Have a question on there. Do you want to? Would you like to have a ward system? Make the question up fair and see what people say. And if a majority of people say they'd rather go to a ward system, then come on, let's start looking into it seriously. If not, that's fine too. Either way, see what the people think. That's what it's about. But it should be a binding referendum because we saw what happens when you have an open referendum. We had that for regional council probably in the 70s or 80s. And, maybe even the early 90s. I don't know. Anyway, back 30 years ago, 35 years ago. And what happened was there 69% or something said, get rid of the region. And here we are, having our pockets picked by 126 politicians, and duplication of every service known to man, including dog catcher. So this is why you wanted binding. They have to look into it. If the people say look into it, they have to look into it. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that, and I'd like to look into this. Now, true. With amalgamation, especially if it's a 4-area system, there would probably be 4 areas with 2 or 3 counselors in each area from each of the cities in it. Say it was Fort Erie, Niagara Falls, Niagara Lake, you'd have 1 from each, so you'd have representation for those areas from there. We'll see how it shakes out. Ford said he wants it. We'll see if he actually does it. He hasn't as yet. Now, getting away from the region for a minute, let's go to China. They made some pretty weird announcements lately. We're going to go to that, but I want to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue first. Now, whenever you're looking for a great pizza, the first thing I look for is good sauce. I look for a good crust. And I look for fresh toppings. Then the next thing I look for is the guys who are making it, do they know what the hell they're doing when they make a pizza? The cheese, a blend of mozzarella and brick, has to be in the right ratio with the sauce, on the crust, and cooked just right with fresh toppings. Now, if they can do that consistently, and you've got a good pizza already, every time you go there, you're going to get a good pizza, and that's what Pete's Pizza on Victoria has going for them. The Mancini family recipe for sauce and crust, a beautiful blend of the cheeses, know how to put it on the pizza in the right ratios, and cook it with fresh toppings just right. It's an art. Making pizza is an art. But they're not a one-hit wonder. They have great wings. They have great steak and cheese poutine. They have great steak sandwiches. They have great panzerotti. And now they even have a nice chicken parm sandwich that's very good. And for those of you in the northwest part of Niagara Falls, guess what? They've opened up at the Old Pie Guys on Thoroldstone Road and Kaler Road. So now you can enjoy great pizza, just like all of us down here by Victoria Avenue. From Pete's Pizza. Support our sponsors. Go grab yourself a pizza from Pete's Pizza. You know you want one. 905-374-2222. Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca is the website. They use all the services, Dine Dash, the whole shot. You can order off the website. They got it going on. Believe me, you're going to be happy. Take my word for it. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue or at the new location on Thoroldstone Road. You know what? You want a pizza. Why fool around? Order one today. Support our sponsors. They support the show. Okay, so what's China doing? China's shaking its saber again, and the world, especially the U.S., is not taking their threats lightly. China just dropped a bomb, and I don't mean a bomb literally, but a bomb figuratively, by saying it will lock down all exports on rare earth elements and anything tied to them, threatening to choke off global supplies. Trump calls it sinister and a hostile move, and says if they do this, the states will hit back hard. Now, in case anybody doesn't know what rare earth elements are, they're in everything: phones, EVs, defense systems, rockets. Most things people use on a daily basis contain rare earth elements. The elements are not really that rare. They're abundant, but they're very, very hard to mine and process because they're found in very minute quantities with other minerals. They possess unique magnetic, fluorescent, and conductive properties that make them essential for modern technologies. such as electronics, energy, and defense. They all use them, they all need them. Guidance systems, radar, sonar, precision missiles. They're a huge part of everyday life and military applications. Now, President Trump responds with a 100% tariff on Chinese goods on top of the existing tariffs. So they're going to get hammered. He also halted the export of critical software to China and said their meeting that is supposed to take place shortly in South Korea may be off since now there's no reason to talk about it. There you go. Trump's not going to put up with this kind of crap. He's taking actually immediately. World markets dipped on what appears to be a new trade war between the countries, with all tech and semiconductor sectors feeling the heat since they all depend on rare earth minerals. On the good side for the U.S., this could trigger a massive move in the U.S. to rebuild domestic mining and refining, something that would be good for the U.S. economy. So stay tuned for this one because it's going to be good. And why is this phone buzzing here? I don't get these. Nobody shuts this phone off. They use the phone, but they don't hit the stop button, and then it rings through. I don't know who it is. But if you're calling, I can't take your call, so forget about it. So that's what's happening with China now. This is going to get interesting, as Trump makes peace in the Middle East, and we'll talk about that later. Other things pop up all over the place. It's a nutty world we live in. And I have to say Canadians are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. No matter what province you go to, with the exception of maybe Alberta and Saskatchewan, and kudos to Danielle Smith and Scott Moe because they seem to be awake and with it. They're not following this woke program. But most of the other elbows up premiers took all of their American booze off the shelves in their liquor stores because of the big bad orange man and his tariffs. And now the booze is sitting rotting in warehouses. The provinces, New Brunswick in particular, are trying to sell their booze to third parties. They want to get rid of it. Here, take the booze. We're going to sell it. And they're going to probably take a loss on this booze. Like I said, not the smartest knives in the drawer because it's very simple. Quebec says they may have to pour $300,000 worth of taxpayers' money down the drain. They can't get rid of it. The booze is banned in stores in Quebec, and Ontario is even in a worse position with more booze sitting in warehouses costing money. They might have $100 million of booze to deal with. And that's taxpayer money sitting there. If it's already bought, it's paid for. That's your money sitting in warehouses doing nothing. Now, here's what a smart premier would do. He would drop his elbows and stop with the elbows up baloney that we hear about all the time, the BS. First of all, they wouldn't have put a ban on it in the first place and have to warehouse it. That was ridiculous in the first place, trying to make some kind of point that nobody cares about. If they were smart, they'd just put all the booze back on the shelves and tack on a $10 a bottle fee. So a $40 bottle would cost $50. Big deal. People are still going to buy it. They want it. $5, say, on wine under $25. $10 on wine over $25. On American stuff, of course, not Canadian stuff. And reap the rewards as people line up to get their Kentucky bourbon and California wine. I mean, there's a windfall sitting in their warehouse. They have $100,000 of bottles, 100,000 bottles of booze, and they get an extra $10 a bottle, plus the money they're already making on the already elevated prices they charge, the taxes they put on. This is a windfall for Ontario taxpayers. But no, they got to keep their elbows up. They don't want to make any sense. Why take the loss when you can actually make more money? Not the sharpest knives in the drawer. That's all we got to say. And then what do? They still blame Trump for Carney's inability to get a tariff deal done. To get a deal done. But rather than whine, why don't they do something about it? Let's make money off it. Okay, if you're that adamant that you don't want this American booze, don't order anymore. But at the very least, get rid of what you have. And that goes for New Brunswick and Quebec and any other bunch of mamalukes that took it off the shelves. Let's make money off it. That only makes sense. See that? See what I did there? That only makes sense. So, what are they going to do? Smarten up, Ford. Use your noodle. Drop the elbows up, horse shite. Let the taxpayers make money. You don't want to order more, so be it, but at least don't let the warehouse booze go to waste. And you probably would be best to tell the other provinces to smarten up and do the same thing. Sell that off and make money, you bunch of dumbasses. Okay, so you think Canada isn't done as a country? Well, turn the lights out and call it a day. In Toronto, that communist mayor, Olivia Chow, has just declared a new district in Toronto. It's called Little Iran. Yeah, street signs declaring it that. Oh, yeah, these street signs, they're calling them Little Iran. Terrorist areas, I wouldn't want to go to. I mean, they're terrorist areas, Bub. What the hell? I'm going down to Little Iran. I mean, if you go to Dearborn, Michigan or Hamtramck, you see what happens when you go into Little Iran or Little Somalia. I mean, you might as well just give it away. Here, it's your area now. You take care of it, Sharia law and everything. I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I can't believe that it's actually happening in Canada. This is a travesty, a total joke. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we talk about the 51st state. That sounds pretty good to me, so we can take our country back. How about that? Maybe we can get rid of these terrorists, not name streets after them, areas of Toronto after them. Are you kidding me? Does anybody else get upset with this stuff, or am I the only guy that reads that and think this is wacky? That this is totally out to lunch? I can't be the only person who thinks this is nuts. I can't be, but I don't know, man. They just keep doing this stuff. And the cops stay away, lighting off smoke bombs, protesting, signs with hate speech. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Blocking city streets, that's fine. But have a get together up in Queenston. Peaceful, nobody doing anything, and these are white supremacists, these are Nazis, or everything else. These guys, woke and go broke, baby. Woke and go broke. So, speaking of dumb Canadian politicians, Chili Con Carnage goes to Germany trying to make a deal for submarines. That's it. He tried with North Korea, and Trump said no. Or South Korea, sorry. South Korea, not North Korea. South Korea. Trump said no. Now, something happened on the way to Berlin because Trump stepped in and said, no, you're not getting them from Germany either. No submarines for you. The same thing when Carnage tried to do an end around with South Korea. Same thing he tried to do with Germany. Snuck over there and had a meeting. Deal off. When's he going to understand that without the U.S. approval, Canada's getting nothing? Yeah, because all Trump says is no. We're not buying submarines from you. If they do, we're going to put a big tariff on you. And that's it. But now that Trump's blocked these purchases, my next step would be to build them in Canada. Well, actually, that would have been my first step. We're going to build these submarines in Canada. Okay, let's get these boat builders going. Let's get the blueprints, whatever we need to get. They're not atomic submarines. They're nothing big. They're just diesel-powered submarines. No big deal. We can build them and build them in Canada. We have the people that need work. We have the ability. What's wrong with this goofball Carnage? I mean, he's all elbows up by Canadian to everybody. Oh, don't go to the States. Don't spend your money there. Elbows up, elbows. And then he's going all over the world looking to buy submarines. Why not put our people to work? He makes a fool of himself in Canada around the world. And Canadians fell for his, I am the only candidate that can deal with Trump. What would he do a week ago when he went there? Nothing. He got stew. Nothing. Did nothing. Not even a buck. Didn't even get $1. Nothing. And as Canada fails, I mean, nothing's going right now in Canada, that's for sure. He's running around Europe wasting time, wasting money, polluting the air with his big plane. Puts more taxes on us for polluting the air. We don't even do that. I mean, seriously, folks. I can't wait to be the 51st state. I can't wait. So, as we sit here in Canada watching and hating Trump, of course, all the TDS people hate Trump. They're all infected. Trump lives in their mind for free. They hate him. They don't know why, but they hate him. Um, the Nobel Peace Prize eludes him yet again. It's so political, and it was awarded to the Venezuelan freedom fighter who had the election stolen from her. They said she was the big Nobel Peace Prize winner for some reason. Nobody really knows why. She don't really even know why. Corina Machado, because she promptly dedicated the award to Donald Trump for helping them oust Maduro. They want to get rid of the guy. And he's the biggest proponent of peace around the world. Now he's trying to get rid of this dictator in Venezuela and probably have Corina Machado, who really won the election, installed. And she dedicated her Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize, to him. So it tells you where you should have went right away. But the Nobel Peace Prize, they got it wrong again. And Machado had the class and dignity to correct the awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize. She realizes that Trump should have got it, but politics got in the way, preventing Trump from getting it, even though he's the one. Obama got one for what? He got one like a week after he was elected. They gave him one. He hadn't done a thing, nothing. They went on, bombed the hell out of people. Remember him watching the screen when the fake Bin Laden was captured? Birdgate, Benghazi. Yeah, he got an award for nothing. That's the way it works. Now Maduro's going to be gone. Invasion is probably imminent to remove that dictator if you don't take off as it is. And Machado is probably the one that's going to be taking over the country with Trump's help. Peace to all. The greatest president and peace proponent in the world today. Now, speaking of Trump, I'm watching Portland and Chicago as Trump is on the verge of invoking the Insurrection Act. That's right. Has the Insurrection Act of 1807 is going to be invoked and invoked 30 times before by greats like President Eisenhower and Kennedy. I think Nixon invoked it. Maybe even Carter. Maybe Clinton. Somebody to do with Arkansas. But it's been invoked many times over the years. And he's going to invoke it again because these judges, these left-wing judges, are saying he can't go in there, and he's just going to go in anyway. He's going to invoke the Insurrection Act, and he has the right to send the federal troops in. That's it. Now, the local ICE agents who are trying to clean up these cities and get the criminals and gangs sent away, they're telling they're telling their cops not to cooperate with ICE. Don't help them out. Not good, and really stupid. Do you really want criminals running your cities? Well, it doesn't matter if they do or not. Texas has the green light to go in there and clean them out. The National Guard's ready. These Antifa terrorists are going to be cleaned out. Their strongholds are going to be cleaned out. The left-wing radicals like AOC and her gang, the ones that forced Chuck Schumer to shut down the government, they're looking for a civil war. That's what they're looking for. And you're just basically taunting Trump to declare the Insurrection Act, and then everybody can go crazy. Then you got a civil war. They're recruiting people and everything, and moving them around to cities. So we'll see what happens with that. Right now, this week, probably we're going to see these people move in, and we'll see where it ends up after. And we talk about Trump being the guy of peace. He wants to straighten out these cities, get rid of all the criminal gangs, get rid of all the illegal aliens, and put law and order back to them, and have peace in his own cities domestically. It's not just we're worried about world peace, but I mean, he's done a great job at bringing peace to a lot of places. He stopped the wars between Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, the Republic Congo Republic in Rwanda, Pakistan and India, in Israel and Iran, He made that big strength move to take out the nuclear reactors of Iran, put them in their place, and that was the end of anything going on between Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, and now Armenia and Azerbaijan. Got that right, Dave Wheeler. And now finally Israel and Gaza. So it appears the ceasefire is holding. The peace deal between Hamas and Israel is working. All living hostages have been returned to Israel, and Trump paid a visit to Israel and addressed the Knesset in Jerusalem. That's the parliament of Israel and supreme authority of that state. I mean, this is historic, ladies and gentlemen. All the TDS people are really having a tough time now since they have to acknowledge Trump is one of the greatest statesmen in history. This is something that's never been done. He'll get his Nobel Peace Prize next year for it. He's featured on the cover of Time magazine for his persistence, diplomacy, and strength of getting a ceasefire and peace agreement signed stands. There may not be another person dead or alive that could have gotten this done. And you know, even the left wing of the United States is giving Trump credit for this. This is something he really pushed hard. Peace through strength. He dropped the bombs in Iran, the state sponsor of terrorism, took care of their proxies, Lebanon, with Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis to the south, Syria. He's taken on all of them along with Israel. And now we have peace. Peace through strength. That's the way it's done. And it would never happen with Obama or Biden. It couldn't happen with Obama or Biden because there was no strength and no respect for the United States. Now that the war is over, it's over there. All those protesters that you saw in Clifton Hill a few weeks ago should be sent home to rebuild Gaza. They should all be sent home. There's no need for them to be refugees. The war is over. They shouldn't be here protesting, blocking streets, setting off smoke bombs while holding hate speech-filled signs against Israel. Nope. Book them all flights. Get them out of here. They can go home now. And now Trump has even been told by Netanyahu that he's going to get the Israeli prize. It's the highest honor bestowed to any Israeli. Never been awarded to anyone that is non-Israel. To a non-Israel person, no, not non-Israeli. It's the first time it's ever been awarded to any other than that in history. To Donald Trump, President Donald J. Trump. I think that says it all about this. And he's not done yet. He's got one more biggie to take care of. Now he's got all these others settled and they're on their way. And all the Arab countries are banding together. They're going to help rebuild Gaza. Now that they've done that, now he can concentrate on Iran and Putin. And believe me, everybody says, oh, he's flip-flopping on that. He's not flip-flopping, ladies and gentlemen, not at all. Trump wants one thing, peace. And whoever is going to make the move to get to that point, he will support, whether it's Zelensky in the Ukraine or Putin in Russia. He's aiming for that. Whoever wants to get it done, that's who we're going to work with to get it done. So they've just got to decide over there that they want it bad enough. And you have the big NATO countries pushing for war. They want a war with Russia, willing to send troops in, France, Britain, Canada, if they have to. But I don't think it's going to last that much longer. I think Trump's fed up with Putin, and he's going to start taking moves just like he did in Iran. A couple good runs into Moscow. They might be more willing to seek a peace deal. They got to talk about these vaccines for COVID, and they're trying to make a comeback, but of course they're not gonna. But let's talk about them after my last sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. Now, whenever you have a city and they have industry, the industry want to make sure there's good machine shops in the area, and that's where Hamel Machine Shop comes in. They are the guys that are turned to help industry keep running. When a machine breaks down, they have to keep running. They don't want to break down. It costs them money. So they call Hamill, who's been around since 1948 in Niagara Falls doing great things. They call Bobby at Hamill. They say, Bob, come on over and take a look at my machine. There's a breakdown here. He goes over there. They either fix the part that's broken, they reverse engineer it. They have 3D printers, water jet cutters, the whole thing. They have all the systems, all the technology, all the CAD programs, you name it, they got the technology and the staff to run it. They know what they're doing and they fix it, but they don't just want to fix things. That's not good enough for Hamill Machine Company. They want to re engineer them so they're better. They produce more. They make more money for that company. That's what they do. They've done it for the wine industry, the food industry, and the agricultural product industry. They ship their innovations around the world. Yeah, they're that good. They're that good right here in Niagara Falls, but they haven't forgot about you. You need something milled, you need something machined, you need something fixed, you need something welded, repaired, fabricated, built. They can do it. No matter what you need, Hamill Machine Shop can do it. Go to hamillmachine.ca to see the beautiful work they do. And take it from me, when you need something done or you know anyone who needs something done, just send them over to Hamill. They're going to be happy. You're going to be happy you referred them. I'm going to be happy you referred them. And we thank them for sponsoring the show. They're great corporate citizens, good, solid people, and they know what the heck they're doing. And you can't ask for more than that from any company. And if you have a company that wants to advertise on this show and have me talk about them, talk about your business, talk about your products, give me a call, 905-353-7560. That's it. Or you can go Paul Lemire at cojago.ca, or just message me on Facebook, my Facebook page, and we'll talk. You'll be surprised how affordable it is to advertise with me on this show 4 times a week, 3 times a show on YouTube, X, Rumble, and Truth Social. Hey, listen, you're going to get lots of views, believe me. And hopefully, it brings you a lot of business. So it appears that my analysis was correct. I sat here how many times talking about it with Pete Dichter as well. The vaccines for COVID were useless and actually harmful to a lot of people that have caused immeasurable amounts of horror for anyone that got the shot. Not to mention it didn't protect them from getting COVID anyway. To the purebloods like me, Peter, congratulations for listening to your common sense and refusing to be injected with a killer COVID shot. To the others, I just hope you got the placebo instead of the real deal. 5 states, Texas, Utah, Kansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, are now suing Pfizer. That's right. For knowing and concealing the vaccine fact that these vaccines cause myocarditis, pericarditis, failed pregnancies, and deaths. That's 10% of the states in the United States, with more to follow. The tide is turning. These merchants of death, along with the people that support them, are being taken to task. And the biggest fish in the pond being Fauci, who should be charged in the World Court of Crimes Against Humanity since he knew and experimented with you being the guinea pigs. He should go to jail too. But Pfizer's being taken to task by 5 states, more to follow. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is right on their tails, and he's gonna uncover the truth about all this, which I already knew, Peter already knew, a lot of people already knew. And if you got the shots, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm a pureblood. I'm all right. In another big move, which is needed in Canada, Trump has cut off free tuition, food, and health benefits to illegal immigrants. A $40 billion savings to the American taxpayers. America first, MAGA. It's all coming together for America while Canada flounders. How can a country so close to a winner be so lost? And I'm talking about Canada now. I mean, we've got 1.2 million people whose visas ran out in January, never went home. 50,000 student visas where these guys never went to the first day of class. So they're just hanging out in Canada. We probably got 4 million people who shouldn't even be here, and they're here, and they're tapping us for our healthcare system, for free money, living in hotels where we got homeless. No, Trump's not putting up with that. They're all going back. He's getting rid of them all. And now he has cut off free tuition, food, aid, and health benefits to these illegals. They're going home. That's all there is to it. And the government shut down, and it's over this kind of stuff. Yep, the Schumer shutdown, pressured by AOC, who wants to give every immigrant, all 10 or 20 million of them, immediate American citizenship. They've contributed nothing. They've done nothing. They're here illegally. They're criminals breaking the law. She wants to give them all immunity, amnesty, and make them all. No, they got to go. Trump's got it right, and he's proven it as they leave in droves. They're taking the $1,000, going back home and reapplying to come in legally. And that's all Trump wants. He wants them in the United States legally. That's it. Now, if you don't take the $1,000 and get the hell out, then you're not allowed to come back legally. So a lot of them are taking the offer and getting out. Okay, the nonpartisan America think tank Pew Research. And get this. Their research shows over 56% of young women suffer from mental health conditions. 56%. Imagine that. And we see him on TV every day yelling, screaming, crying when Trump got elected, crying, screaming. Men aren't any better anymore. But there's 56% of them have a mental condition. These women are unstable, unhinged, many on high doses of mind-altering psychotropic drugs. Prescription, by the way. That's what Pew found. This is reality. We have seen them screaming and carry on during these hate Trump rallies. Their purple and green hair covered with pussy hats. They're violent, stand up for and harbor violent, illegal alien criminals in their furry costumes and end up with a lot of time spent in handcuffs because they're so out of control that the police have to cuff them. They're nuts. They want to eliminate the First and Second Amendments and censor anyone that has opposing views of theirs. They want to take away your guns, invite drag queens to read to your kids in schools and public libraries. They argue that men can get pregnant. And they think misgendering someone is an act of violence against them. Seriously, folks, these people are nuts. They believe that looting is reparation for former ills. They think that communism is good. It just hasn't been properly tried yet. So they're smarter than every other communist country that ever existed. They just haven't done it right yet. They haven't tried it right yet. And they want it for America. We see that in New York City, where an unavowed communist has a 90% chance of winning the mayor's race. That Zohan Memdani. I mean, they're all backed by these mental cases. AOC and her gang of loonies. They think that they want to take over the United States. These people, and Pew Research says that they're cuckoo. They think that Americans should be listening to them, and Americans are just as bad because they let them get away with these delusions and unfit mental state that they're in. Most of America remains silent. I mean, they should be getting help, these people. The silence has created a generation of mentally unstable, heavily medicated, attention-starved activists that think their feelings override biology, logic, and even science and reality. We see it every day on the news. I mean, I said we see it. We see them on TikTok and other social media platforms. And Pew is right. Pew Research. There are future leaders, allegedly. Scary stuff right there. These sentiments come from Dallas James Wicker, a modern-day rancher, a husband, and relentless advocate for men reclaiming their strength, purpose, and legacy. He posts all over social media. You should check out some of his podcasts. He has some great insights into life and why we're seeing this in the world that we see today. And he's right. This guy is right. And Pew Research is right. These people are mental. They got a problem. They got a problem. So sticking in the United States for a minute, and another thing that happened last weekend, over the weekend, we have seen James Comey and Letitia James under indictment. These criminals are going to trial. They go into jail. James Comey has a trial date in January, I believe, 60 days. So that would be October, November, maybe in December, beginning of December, and towards the middle of December. And most likely, the next up are John Bolton and Shifty Schiff. And that should happen maybe in the next few weeks. All the perps are going down as it becomes more evident that these treasonous politicians were not only behind Russiagate, but actually were colluding to bring down the first Trump presidency and rig the second one. Hillary and her gang of cutthroats, led by Obama, are all going down. They're all lawyering up and on standby, waiting for the end to come. And it's near for them all. They're going after them. Couldn't happen to a nicer group of criminals, as far as I'm concerned. It's a beautiful thing. And as they entice and abet riots in the United States in these democratic cities, these state sanctuary state cities, they're going to have to make a move soon, these left-wingers, if they want a civil war, because once winter comes, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to be on the streets of any northern city anyway and protesting. So they're going to have to do something here. So stay tuned. Things could get really heated in the next few weeks towards the end of October in the United States of America. as we approach Trump's 1-year win of the presidency. Okay, everybody, that's all I got for you today. That's it for me. I'm getting out of here. Tomorrow's another day. Absolutely. We're talking about the Habs. They played tonight. They won 2 on the weekend. 2 good games, and they're going to play the Seattle Kraken at home tonight, opening night in Montreal. And it's going to start with a tribute to number 29, Ken Dryden. So whether you're a Habs fan or not, tune into the beginning of the game if you're not. Montreal, there's only 2 places that do ceremonies like this in the world, and that's in Buckingham Palace and Montreal. Anything to do with the Canadians when they honor somebody. This is going to be something else tonight as they introduce this year's Montreal Canadiens on opening night and have a tribute to Ken Dryden. Check it out. You don't have to stay and watch the game if you hate Montreal. Even if you hate Montreal, you got to have loved Ken Dryden. And all you Leaf fans, I mean, he was president of the Leafs for a long time, right? So you have a vested interest too. He did good for your team. Anyway, take care, everybody. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company. If you want to market your company, give me a call. Get in touch with me and we'll do it. Other than that, have a blessed day. God bless you all. And we'll see you tomorrow with Absolutely. And we'll be back Thursday with Straight Talk Thursday on Your City, Your Voice, live at noon. Every day where I'm here doing something. Check it out. Promises made, promises kept. See you at noon for Absolutely tomorrow and noon on Thursday for the regular Your City, Your Voice show. Have a great day, everyone. Salute. Enjoy yourself. And thanks for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Subscribe on the way.